Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So today you're going to find out what the tip of the day is. What is the Twin Flame tip of the day? What is it? What's happening? And of course these cards are very unshuffleable. Is that a word? They're unshuffleable. All right, here we go. Now they're shuffling. All right, what is the tip of the day, everyone? What is the fun tip of the day for us Twin Flames, for the Twin Flame community? What is the tip of the day? One card, just one. We just want one tip. Don't overburden us with more than one. What's the twip? All right. It says, don't put your twin flame on a pedestal. No. Here's the thing. If you put your twin flame on a pedestal, where it's like, oh yeah, it's like this person is the end all be all, and my life would be so great if I were just with this one person, and no one compares to this person, and woo-wee, they're the cat's meow, right? If you start to do that, what starts to happen, right? You're not a vibrational match. Why are you not on a vibrational match? Because they're up here and you're down here. You just put them on a pedestal. That's not a vibrational match, right? That's a huge vibrational separation right there. That's a timelines. Those are two different timelines right there. So what's the antidote? The antidote, well, how do I, so let's just say, and I always spiritually bypass this, but it is your soul's emotions that are making you feel a certain way. So you really have to dissect that. You really have to dissect these emotions. And the whole purpose of your soul doing this is to give you this scenario. And they could have done it in any sort of way, right? They could have given you something to long for. It didn't have to be a person, but that's just what they chose in this particular scenario. And if you do have this longing where it's like, here's my happiness over there, and here I am, but my happiness is over there. So what you've done now is your soul has put you in a place where you need healing, right? So that's the whole point. The whole point is to feel bad. The whole point is to feel a desire. The whole point is to feel like you're not enough. The whole point is for you to feel a certain void, a certain way. Why, Mary Beth? What's the whole point of that? Why is the soul doing this to me? Why? To heal. What are you healing? You're healing your own inner child. That's first and foremost. You're healing your own inner child. Secondly, you're healing pretty much any wounds that you've gotten at any age in this lifetime. It could be things that you thought were taken care of, or things you thought you got over. Oh, wow, I went through this real traumatic thing where, I'll give you an example. I had a peeping Tom in my house when I lived in New York. It took me 2 years to get over that fear of being by myself in my house. That peeping Tom came twice and it scared the crap out of me. I didn't feel safe. Let's put it that way. I didn't like dark windows. Anyway, I had to heal that because, even though I thought, okay, at some point time is going to heal and after time it's going to go away. Turns out it doesn't. The emotion stays inside of you. It affects the soul in such a way that the soul almost grabs it and takes it and makes it a part of you. So now it's a part of you. And now you have to release it. Well, how do I do it? There's so many ways to do it. There's sutras. There's cleansing the chakras. I just happen to do it off the governing meridian. And I do this on Mondays for you guys. It's called emotion code. That's just the way that's just what I use. And when you start to do that, you start to release all these trapped emotions. Well, what starts to go away? The yearning, I need someone else to be happy. oh, I need this, my happiness is over there. Like that will start to go away because now the soul is feeling lighter and lighter and lighter because all these tragedies, all these traumas, all these PTSDs are starting to be released energetically. And so when you put your twin flame on a pedestal, the whole purpose of that is so that you heal. It is meant for that. Your soul is making you feel that way for a very particular reason and making you feel like you have a void in your life. Abandoned is probably the best word to use in this situation. You feel abandoned. You feel abandoned by a part of you. Now, at the same time, the abandonment is kind of a dual meaning here because also when you feel this yearning, it's also your soul yearning for you, a relationship with the avatar. I call it the avatar, could be the mind, conscious mind. The way I look at it is soul is more subconscious mind and avatar, ego, conscious mind. And so it's the mind, it's the mending, and it's the coming together of the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, or like the soul and the avatar. And when that happens, a lot of healing happen. I mean, a lot of better things happen because there is a sort of evolvement. There's an expansion. You become a master in your own life. You really start to master life. And don't get me wrong, you never actually master anything because life just gets a little tougher. It's like once you master the third dimension, and now let's say you're in the 10th dimension, they're going to throw you a challenge where you're going to be challenged, another challenge. It's never going to be where you've hit the top, where you've made it, where life is now hunky dory. Everything is just so wonderful and perfect. Because if that does happen, your soul is just going to be like, well, what else is there to do now? You've met all your challenges. This is not any fun. We need challenges, right? And so that the expansion never stops. Once you hit one expansion, you're just going to keep expanding. In order to help you to do that, is to give you that feeling of longing, to give you that feeling of, oh, I have to have this person, or it could just have to be a person, or I have to have this thing to be happy. It's going to help you expand. Well, it depends, right? It depends on how you. It depends if you listen to your soul on how to do that, then there'll be expansion. Or you could possibly do other things where it's not going within, right? The answers aren't coming from within. The answers are more without. Meaning the thinky versus the thinker, right? So now the conscious mind is thinking, and the conscious mind saying, well, this is how I'm going to deal with this. And, I'm just going to do drugs. I'm just going to numb myself. And you're probably looking at me like I'm crazy, but that's what a lot of people do. I mean, don't we do that when we drink? I mean, first when we're sad. So, and that's not necessarily the soul's way, right? Sometimes it is. I'm not going to say it's never. Sometimes the soul wants that particular challenge. The soul gave you that challenge to expand you. But because of what I do for a living and I read medical records all day, what I notice is that most people, instead of healing, they go into the direction of, I've given up. I give up. I want someone just to take care of me type thing. And so it really just depends on the person on how well they take the challenge. And mentally, it's very challenging to feel a constant yearning for another person and putting someone on a pedestal and thinking this person who's so great and so wonderful and the person that I need to be with is abandoning me. And it's my twin flame, no less, right? Yeah, so that's the soul making you feel that way. And the soul is doing it to help you. And so if you're like me, you will somehow find an antidote for that. The way I did it, I'm just going to give you an antidote that I did when I felt the yearning and I couldn't control it. It was, to me, it was painful to wake up every morning and there was nothing I could do to distract myself from this yearning of this having to have this person in my life. It was just awful. And so I said, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on myself. I'm going to yearn for me. So every time I felt like I was yearning for my twin flame, I'd be like, I yearn for Mary Beth. I yearn for I love Mary Beth. I love Mary Beth. I love Mary Beth. Oh, Mary Beth is the only one for me. And I would do these affirmations and I would feel into it. Then I would somehow open up my heart chakra with all my self-love. And then I got into the whole blissipline. Well, what does it mean to take care of me? What does it mean to nurture me? What does it mean to give myself blissipline? What does it mean to have bliss? And so I surrounded myself when it came to, like when you have your senses, right? Your taste, your hearing, what you feel, what you see. So I made everything sensory in such a beautiful way that when I got up in the morning, I had the most beautiful smells, beautiful things that I looked at, the most wonderful music that was so uplifting. And that's how and that was my first step. And that was before I even knew about, that was like a good year before I even knew about emotion code. And so, and I think it helped expand me and it helped me. Just that yearning alone helped me to love me when I really wasn't connected to me. I was very disconnected to myself. Like I was very disconnected to my own emotions, and I was disconnected to other people. I wasn't emotionally connected, let's put it that way. Emotionally disconnected in general, and there was a reason for that. And I've told the story before, but when you're beaten as a child, you learn how to do that. You learn to emotionally disconnect. Now no one can hurt you, whether it be physically. You seriously physically don't feel it once you emotionally disconnect, and they mentally can't hurt you when you emotionally disconnect. So I had to learn, and that's not everyone, right? Some people already are emotionally connected. That was just me. I'm just giving you an example. So I had to learn to emotionally connect to and once I started doing that and I started putting, every time I felt this longing, I started putting out, I long for Mary Beth shit. I long for Mary Beth. I long for Mary Beth shit. I long, and the more I did that, the more I felt it. And then I started going more into my soul. Well, I long for my soul. I long for my soul. Oh, I love my soul. Oh, I want to be with my soul. I want to, and the more I did that, my soul started letting up. Now the soul is in charge of your emotions. Now the soul's like, okay, now I'm going to let up on the whole needing, want, not 100%, but like a little by little. It just kept easing up on the wanting, easing up where now I had a couple of days where I felt free, where I felt like, oh, I don't have any longing. But then it would come back, Then I'd be like, damn it, why am I longing again? And then I'd have to go back to loving myself. And then I realized that I better make this an everyday practice until I was able to open up my heart chakra. And then I had to do inner child work. And anyway, it ended up being a whole journey as why it's called a twin flame journey, right? It's a twin flame journey because it's a journey. It's not a short trip. It's not a like one day, or it's a years type journey. And it's really a journey back to your soul. It really is. It really is a journey back to your soul. So putting your twin flame on a pedestal, there's a purpose for it. It's going to help you in the long run if you listen to your soul, if you learn from it, I should say, if you learn from it. But if you don't learn from it and you just constantly think, well, once I get my twin flame, it's going to be gone. Oh, just once I get my twin flame, oh, I won't feel like they're on a pedestal anymore. I won't yearn for them anymore because they'll be in my life. That's not the twin flame journey. That is third dimensional love that everyone else does that never seems to work. I mean, here's the thing. I'm sorry. It just doesn't work. I'm sorry. If you're yearning for someone else and your happiness is in someone else's hands, because now if they walk away and your happiness just walked away, really? You just gave up all of your power. How is that balanced? How are you a balanced person? How are you expanded? How is that even self love? It's not. You just gave your power away. Someone else has the key to your happiness. Someone else has the key to your power. Someone else has it in their pocket. You got to get it back from them. How do you do that? Well, I just gave you some tips. Those were just what I did. It helped me. I don't know. It might be different for you. Ask your soul. Your soul has all the answers. Trust me on that. Well, anyway, that's the tip of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.